We've been getting benchmarks about that, leaks about it, and so far this is looking like it is a real true competitor to AMD, Intel, and possibly even Apple's M2 and M3 chips. So we're going to cover all of that, all the big news we're going to cover for you today. But as always, before I get into that, if you are new to this channel, please do me a huge favor. Do consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that like button. Also, if you have friends or family that enjoy this type of content, please make sure you share this with them as well, as I'm sure that they will enjoy this type of content as well. I've covered this a couple of times or talked about Snapdragon X Elite. Really excited about this chipset right here. Right now in the early goings, this chipset is looking to be very promising for Qualcomm, as in early benchmarks it has been set to be on par or even surpass Intel, AMD, and even Apple's latest chipsets as well. So the Snapdragon X Elite has the promise to be a game changer for ARM-based PCs. So let's go over this. Snapdragon X Elite beats AMD and Intel flagship mobile CPUs in Geekbench 6. Qualcomm's new laptop chip leads in single and multi-core tests. Now this is an article out of tomshardware.com. So let's go through this article real quick. Tech and Mall on Twitter shared performance figures for Qualcomm's new Snapdragon X Elite CPU in Geekbench 6. The ARM CPU's results are incredibly potent, performing on par with Intel's Core i7-13700HX, the Core i9-13900H, and AMD's latest Ryzen 9 8945HS mobile flagships. These numbers match real-world performance. Qualcomm's new ARM-based laptop chip will be able to perform on par with some of the best hardware from Intel and AMD have to offer today. Snapdragon X Elite scored 2,427 points in Geekbench's 6 single core tests and 14,000 points in its multi-bench test here. So you can see right here that in this little table right here, you got the CPUs in the single and multi-core test right here. It outperformed Intel and AMD at this point. The 2400 right there, and then the Intel Core 9 was at 2300. If you take a look at the multi-core, those are your more multi-threaded applications, more CPU intensive. It actually scored 14,000, while the Core i9 was at 10,591. So again, the Snapdragon X Elite is poised to be a very capable chip at this point. But let's just take a step back just for a little bit. Now you have to take this with a little bit of grain of salt. There's only one test. Geekbench 6, the Geekbench's test could be a little bit, up and down, or as we've seen in the past. So take it with a little bit of grain of salt. But if these numbers are, at least in the realm of what it can actually do in the real world, then this could be a pretty good indication that Qualcomm has stumbled upon something with this Snapdragon X Elite chips right here. So we can see here just a little bit real quick. Qualcomm is targeting best-in-class multi-threaded performance with the Snapdragon X Elite. Unlike its previous laptop chip, Qualcomm is aiming to compete with the best laptop CPUs in the industry. Qualcomm has already revealed that its new chip is 60% more performant than the i7-13800H and is twice as fast as Intel's i7-1355U and the i7-1360P, while sipping just a third of the power. That is huge right there. That it only has to consume a third of the power compared to what it did previously. So that is a huge get. So just imagine if you want to overclock it and throw some more power at it, what is this thing capable of in the real world? But we'll see again once that comes out. Again, take it with a grain of salt. This is one test. It's still early, but the results right now do look very promising. Real quick right here. So many results showcase the Snapdragon's real performance. Qualcomm has an incredibly potent chip on its hand. We already knew from the previous official coverage that the Snapdragon X Elite will be very fast with 12 Oryon cores, 42 megabytes of cache, and 4.3 gigahertz peak turbo performance. The Geekbench 6 results serve as additional confirmation that Qualcomm has reached its performance goals with the Snapdragon X Elite. So Qualcomm is doing this thing with this the Snapdragon X Elite chip right here, and really looking forward to this coming out. Again, we've seen Snapdragon also compete up against the Apple M2 chip at this point, and it did beat the M2 in both, I think, single and multi-core tests as well. So Qualcomm has something on their hands again. We'll see once this actually comes out how these numbers and these benchmarks actually hold up. But looks like this is going to be a very capable chip. So ARM-based PCs coming out in probably later half of this year that are going to be rocking this Snapdragon X Elite chip, you might have something right here. You might have a winner on your hands. So hats off to Qualcomm if they can actually do this, put out something that will just knock the socks off of Intel, AMD, and Apple. Bam, that's something that we as PC geeks or looking for a PC out there or a laptop at this point. That's something that's really something to keep on your radar for you. But let me know what you guys think about that down in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you think Snapdragon? Do you think Qualcomm can actually achieve this in the real world? Are you excited about that? And if they could come out with this and come out with those numbers, will you get one of these laptops that are featuring one of these Snapdragon X Elite chips? So just let me know down in the comment section down below. Before we get out of here, again, make sure if you're not following me on Twitter, make sure you go follow me on Twitter, sounds_nerdy. Again, not all of the news that I do or post about make it into video form, but I post a lot of news on my Twitter timeline throughout the day. A bunch of articles, and same thing with Gab as well. So if you are on Gab, check me out there as well. If you want to stay up to date with the latest tech news, please head over to sounds30.com, where I curate and aggregate tech news from around the web, covering Apple, Samsung, Google, Android, computing, and even more general tech news, all at the website sounds30.com. Have fun, stay nerdy, and until next video, guys, stay nerdy.